remaining.
All right, welcome everyone to another night of NizCast. I, of course, am Niz. We're casting SCS once again. This is round 3. We have 2 teams here. We got Fnyx Gaming playing on the Radiant side, and they're going up against a team by the name of Vacation or Vaccation. I don't know if that's a throwback to, or not a throwback, maybe a... I'm forgetting the word. Wow, this is a good start. Maybe they're, I don't know. It has something to do with Valve's VAC ban system. I have no idea. But they're going by the name of Nemo in this game, so we'll probably just call them Nemo. But they were going to be playing on the Dire side. I feel like this is where I cut and just start over again. But we can't do that because we're live.
Dire team pick.
But it always feels like I haven't cast for a while when Thursday rolls around, and it's weird because, I mean, the gap from Sunday to Thursday isn't really that much longer than the gap from Thursday to Sunday, but on Thursdays it always feels like it's been forever. So I guess I'll just blame it on shaking off the rust at the start of the cast.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh well. Let's get into the game because once again making an idiot of myself. So far, Team Nemo. Actually, I should start with Fnyx. They opened up with a ban on Tidehunter and followed that up by a Troll Warlord ban. Then they first picked Vengeful Spirit. Nemo opened up with Axe and Sniper as their 2 bans, and then responded to the Vengeful Spirit pick with a Juggernaut and Witch Doctor. Fnyx then rounded up their top 2 picks with the Skywrath Mage. So Fnyx already showing their 2 supports so far, as they've picked both the Venge and the Skywrath. And the Skywrath is actually a very valuable hero going up against the Jug. Of course, the ability to silence is absolutely huge, but not just the ability to silence, but the ability to silence and then have that burst damage to kill the Juggernaut. There is going to be a point in the game where that silence isn't anywhere near as valuable against the Jug, because Jug's most likely going to be building into a Manta style this game. So he'll be able to at least remove the silence, so he won't be able to get silenced and then bursted down while he's essentially defenseless. Silence will also actually be incredibly good against the Witch Doctor. The Venge is, I mean, she's got a stun, so she's great against the Witch Doctor being able to stop the Death Ward.
5 seconds
But Swap also makes sure that Witch Doctor can't just get a BKB and be immune to basically everything, because of course Swap goes through BKB. But we typically don't see Witch Doctors building BKB anyway, so that's not really the biggest concern. Fnyx then banned out Doom, and they've also banned out Earthshaker. So we're moving a strong support there that gives them long range initiation. That actually pairs incredibly well with the Witch Doctor. And Nemo have banned out Templar Assassin, and we're awaiting their 4th ban now. I actually, oops, need to get organized here. I'm actually a little surprised by the Doom ban, as we see PA getting banned by Nemo. I'm not really sure why they put this value on Doom, and I actually got to watch a little bit of their game before this one. It was ticketed, so I was waiting for it to finish before I started the cast, so I was able to watch a little bit of it, and I actually got to see that they also banned Doom that game as well, but they banned it in their first two bans. So I'm not sure if, maybe they're just aiming to go after a specific hero that's weak against Doom, or they're just they just don't like playing against the hero, or it's a hero that really limits their hero pool. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see. In that game, they went with a very different lineup than what they have now. They went with Witch Doctor, Earthshaker, Timbersaw, TA, and Razor. So none of those heroes really... I mean, Timber, of course, is going to be very weak to Doom. But those other heroes, not really... I mean, everyone's weak to Doom, but there's some heroes that are exceptionally weak to Doom. And, I mean, I guess Timber's the only one in that lineup, so it must be that it really limits their hero pool, or really limits their ability to pick around what their strengths are. But they remove it again this time around. Nemo's picked up
10
their
seconds
Viper.
remaining.
So that most likely will be sitting in the mid lane, but of course
5 seconds remaining.
6.83 is all about having versatility in your lanes.
Reserve
And
time.
we're seeing like 2-1-2 lane setups or just safe lane tri-lanes like the old, I say old, but it's really not that long ago, style of doing things. We see teams abandoning the off lanes, just like basically starting with a jungler. We see a ton of different stuff. 1-1-1 lanes with dual roams we've seen a little bit of. And 6.3 basically all about versatility in your lanes. So that means Viper, he could be mid or he could not. He could be, in a dual lane in the off lane, which we've seen before. He could just be safe lane farming. And if he is safe lane farming, that's the hero he's going to be up against most likely. It's a Centaur Warrunner, which gets picked up by Fnyx. Fnyx is... This is a scary lineup so far. And this is actually... This reminds me of... was it last patch? I think it was last patch. Maybe even the patch before. Where teams really liked playing these heroes and playing this style of game. This is a pretty aggressive
5 seconds remaining.
lineup so far.
Reserve
Centaur,
time.
basically, if you can enable Centaur to get his blink early, then Centaur
Radiant
combined
team
with Skywrath can do so much. The two of them moving around together is pretty much a guaranteed kill. Blink, Hoof Stomp, double-edged with Skywrath, silencing, laying down a Mystic Flare, or sometimes he doesn't even have to lay down the Mystic Flare, depending on who Centaur's jumping. But it'll give them it gives them the ability to just completely remove a
10
hero from the
seconds
map almost
remaining.
immediately as soon as Centaur gets that Blink Dagger. But it's very important for him to get that Blink. And we're going to have to see how they plan on doing that. Because look, right now, we're going to see Centaur in the off lane, most likely going up against a Jug Witch Doctor dual lane with Sand King in the jungle. And with Sand King being in the jungle, there's always that threat of him popping out and locking you down.
10
So that's a
seconds
very, very
remaining.
scary lane for Centaur. The one saving grace,
5
I'd say,
seconds
is that
remaining.
Centaur has a lot of HP. And right now, the typical build in the meta for
Reserve
Juggernaut
time.
is actually only to put 1 point in spin. For a long time, we saw Juggernauts maxing spin first, so he got 4 points in it. And that meant pretty much if he was landing against someone and that person got CC'd in some way, stunned or
Radiant team
immobilized,
ban.
Jug spins, and that's almost a guaranteed kill. You think back to the old lanes of Jug CM lane, right? CM gets a freeze on someone and that person's pretty much dead because Jug's going to spin. But with Juggernauts only putting 1 point into spin recently, that means they don't really
10
have that
seconds
damage to
remaining.
kill the Centaur. So maybe Centaur can actually play a little bit greedy
5 seconds
in that
remaining.
lane. And maybe he will be able to get that Blink Dagger pretty soon. We'll be able to tell kind
Reserve
of
time.
the pace at how he's doing based on how quickly he's able to get his Tranquil Boots. And the glory of, or the best part, I should say, of the Tranquil Boots is that actually allows him to
Dire
abandon the
team
lane
pick.
and go hop in the jungle if the lane gets to a position where he's not going to be able to get XP for a little bit. Go clear a couple camps in the jungle and head back up top and soak up that XP and get the last hits that you can as the wave comes back to the tower. But we've had a couple more picks. I mentioned the Sand King there, as most likely he's going to be sitting in the jungle. So Nemo's just going to look to finish up their
10
lineup
seconds
with an off
remaining.
laner, as it looks like the Viper's going to be mid.
5 seconds
Fnyx
remaining.
picked up Dusa, so we've got their late game hero,
Reserve
their
time.
carry. Where's that Dusa going to lane? Dusa mainly sits in the mid lane, but we have seen her also be laned in the safe lane. But I'm willing to. I'm guessing. I'm not willing to bet. Don't take me wrong on that one. I'm guessing that the Deuce is going to be mid going up against the Viper. So we're looking for most likely the offlaner for Nemo here and the safe lane farmer
10
for
seconds
Fnyx.
remaining.
Which they could actually. They could put the Centaur in the safe lane and get
5
another
seconds
traditional
remaining.
offlaner, which is definitely a possibility. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Radiant team pick.
Last two bans, We had Silencer banned out by Nemo and Bristleback banned out by Fnyx. And Nemo has picked up the Brewmaster. Huh. So that changes things up. Is that just an offlane Brewmaster? Is that a Brewmaster that they're going to sit mid against Dusa? Which means the Viper would be offlane, unless they plan on running an aggro tri-lane, which is a little... I mean, that would be a pretty strong tri-lane, but you typically want to have Sand King in the jungle because he farms so fast in the jungle. So we'll have to wait and see, but Fnyx closed out their lineup with a Storm Spirit, so that means he's most likely going to be their mid laner. Deuce is going to be safe lane, and the Centaur Warrunner is going to be in the off lane. And just waiting on the last two players to choose their heroes, and we're going to be right into this. Just come on. Come on, Witch Doctor. You can do it. There we go. We're into the game. Let's introduce the players real quick here, as we've got Team Fnyx Gaming on the Radiant side. Playing their Storm Spirit is going to be @Laxus. So check him out on Twitter. You can also check out Marco, who's got an @ after his name. I'm assuming that's @Marco, but he's going to be playing the Skywrath Mage. The Deuce is going to be played by Dota Lover. The Vengeful Spirit is going to be played by Val. And the Centaur Warrunner is going to be played by Arya. On this Dire side, we have Team Nemo, or Team Vacation, if you're going by the brackets. Playing their Juggernaut is going to be Shadow. Playing the Sand King is going to be UWM Nilo. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that all right. Brewmaster is going to be played by a guy with, I believe those are Chinese characters. So unfortunately I can't tell you what that says. The Viper is going to be played by Teddy Westside. And the Witch Doctor is going to be played by Boobsies. What standout items do we have so far? Well, we've got sentries on the Vengeful Spirit. Beyond that, nothing too surprising, I'd say. On the Radiant side, maybe Centaur could have potentially gone with boots, but I think he's actually better off going with the boot, the item build he went with so far this game. On the Dire side, we've got boots first on the Sand King, and well, I guess nothing else too surprising. You can see Witch Doctor with 2 sets of tangos and a clarity, and just bought all the support items for the team. Let's take a look at our lanes. What do we actually have? Well, we've got the Centaur running in the safe lane. He's going up against the Brewmaster. In the mid lane, we've got that Storm Spirit going up against the Viper. And in the top lane, it is an aggressive tri-lane with Dusa, Vengeful Spirit, and Skywrath Mage. And they're going to be going up against that Juggernaut, Witch Doctor, and Sand King. And this is actually an interesting play from Fnyx. For a while, a lot of teams were experimenting with running Dusa in an aggro tri-lane. I believe it was Root Gaming who has since really changed their roster, pretty much replaced everyone but one person. But they were really experimenting with this. I believe it was Root. Pretty sure, but they were experimenting with this a lot. They really liked running the Dusa in the aggro tri-lane. And what's actually great about this is not only is Dusa actually pretty strong in an aggro tri-lane, but you're also punishing the fact that this lane is most likely going to be Jug and Witch Doctor, and Sand King sitting in the jungle farming away, because that's, I mean, typically how the Sand King's played, and that's what you look for when you pick up a Sand King. So basically, they know they can ensure basically a 3v2 lane up here. So Deuce is going to get a lot of farm. They're going to really limit how much CS the Juggernaut can get. And on top of that, they've placed a Sentry Ward here, but that's not actually blocking. So they are still going to... Boobsies is still going to be able to pull here, as he's already stacked this camp. And the other thing is that they're constantly going to be pulling here, so they're going to be able to control the lane. And they should be able to get a big lead on their Dusa over the Juggernaut. One thing that's definitely worth noting on this Dire side is they've gone with both a Panda and a Viper, and both these heroes really come on strong in the mid game, and they're going to look to put a lot of pressure on Fnyx this game. And combine that with the fact that you've got a Sand King who's going to try to get a Blink Dagger pretty quickly. Notice they haven't said, you know what, let's get the Sand King up in the top lane, helping our Jug, making sure that he's going to get the farm. They just said, you know what, unfortunately our Jug's not going to get as much as we want him to. He's still doing okay at 11 and 1 CS right now, which is quite respectable. He actually has more CS than Medusa, which is a little surprising. But they said, you know what, let's focus on Sand King getting his Blink Dagger, then he can come create the space for the Jug. So yeah, Jug will fall behind a little bit from where he'd be if he just had straight free farm, but we'll be able to create space for him and allow him to catch up a little bit later on in the game. And Vald is coming over and placing another sentry in the camp, making sure that it's blocking. And that's just a little unfortunate. This one was not blocking. Well, let's actually take a quick look at the lanes and see how the other lanes are going. As we've got the Skywrath has been roaming around quite a bit, but hasn't really been able to make anything of it thus far. We got action on the top as Cask is going to get thrown out, but I believe both these heroes will be fine. But this is always the threat of the Sand King being in the jungle. He can always come in. He's going to get 3-man stun. No, he only gets 2. And I think they're just going to completely disengage here. They've got the Jug healing ward to heal them up. And I talked about that build with just 1 point in Blade Fury, and that's exactly the build that this Jug is choosing to go with. And that really limits the amount of damage that they can dish out. Of course, if they catch a hero like a Vengeful Spirit or something like that out of position, they can still kill her. She's still very, very squishy. But they don't have that full crazy amount of damage that's going to be coming out of the Jug spin. But I was trying to get to us talking about how the other lanes are doing here. We've got Brewmaster doing a terrific job in the bottom as he's 25 and 5, going up against the Centaur who's 23 and 5. So this lane actually pretty close, but Panda pulling out slightly ahead. And like I said, this is actually a very important lane for both teams, because Brewmaster wants to be able to get his Arcane Boots and then his Blink Dagger up as we... Oh, that was a little closer than I was expecting it to be, as Ariat almost gets the kill onto the Panda. But yeah, it's really important because the Arcane Boots need to come out for the Brewmaster, followed by the Blink Dagger. And the Centaur, as Teddy Westside's going to get picked off here in the mid lane for our first blood, as Storm's going to get that one. The Centaur, it's the same thing. He needs to be able to get his Tranquil Boots and then his Blink Dagger, because, like I said, he needs to be able to go and jump on people, stun them, and blow them up with the Skywrath Mage, and that's how they're going to set the pace in the mid game. And of course, that Brewmaster's doing the same thing. So both the heroes in this bottom lane essentially looking for the same kind of start. Brewmaster needs a little bit more gold to get where he wants to be, because of course Arcane Boots cost a little bit more than Tranquils. And it's quite similar in the mid lane. You know, you've got a Viper that wants to get off to a good start, because he's another hero that's going to be setting the pace, a tempo controlling hero. And Storm is of course exactly the same. So we've got that same kind of importance in the matchup. I actually think it's a little bit more important for Storm to make sure that he doesn't really lose his lane too hard than Viper. Viper can come back a bit, and Storm can too, but Storm, when he starts snowballing, is a very, very scary hero. And he's falling behind a little bit in this lane, 26 and 1 CS for Laxus, and 37 and 10 for Teddy Westside. But of course that first blood will go a long way helping Laxus in this lane. That CS discrepancy isn't anywhere near as large as it would be if they didn't get the first blood on the Viper. Marco TPing up into the top lane, so the Dire side doesn't know that he's here. They will know now, as they're going to open up on the Bootsy. There are already forced the spin out of the Juggernaut, and they are going to get the kill onto the Witch Doctor as Boobsies falls. Dota Lover, the Dusa, will get the last hit there. So we have 2 kills now in favor of Fnyx Gaming. And they're off to a pretty good start thus far. But this Panda, he's getting close. It looks like he's going to go straight into Blink Dagger, which I find a little bit surprising. Maybe he feels like the lanes are going to break apart fairly early, and he's not going to be able to farm both before he really starts getting pressured. So he knows that, you know, if I go straight Blink Dagger, I can get it in 8 minutes. And, you know, if they then want to come and pressure me, it's a lot easier for me to recover by just building Arcane Boots rather than trying to save up for 2250 and get a full Blink Dagger. And the other part to that is, Arcane Boots don't really help him go and get a kill. The Blink does. So if he's gotten the Blink and he needs to somehow get his boots, or at least upgrade his boots into Arcanes, he can do so by going and getting a kill. The Arcanes don't really allow him to do so. As Marco's hanging out in the mid lane. Looks like he wants to get an gank on a Teddy West side, but Boobsies was on the high ground and is going to be harassing him back. And Nilo's going to arrive on the scene as the Sand King. He's going to stun up Laxus, and Laxus is just going to ball lightning away. Marco taking a little bit of damage, but Val is also TP'd on in. They're going to use the pull onto Teddy West side. Laxus and Teddy, both mids going incredibly low. Laxus has already gone down. Teddy going down to 43 HP, but it looks like he's going to get out of there alive. And Nemo, a little advantage there, and in the bottom lane, while all that was going on, the Brewmaster used Split and got the kill onto Ariat. So, just like that, we have an even game once again. It's 2-2 is the score now. As that trade, if you even want to call it that, ended up being 2 heroes in favor of Team Nemo. Let's actually switch on over to the net worth, because CS probably isn't the most telling factor anymore. It's good to analyze how the lanes are going, but we're at the point where we're almost going to start really transitioning out of the laning phase. Although we see Centaur actually TP back to the bottom lane, as he still wants to stick down there until he gets his Blink Dagger. Oh, unfortunately, missed a kill on the top. Is Laxus starting to use that Storm Spirit, starting to use that Ball Lightning to put some pressure on the enemy heroes. They get the kill on the Juggernaut in that top lane. And we still have a few heroes here waiting to just get their core going before they're able to really roam around and put a lot of pressure on. I mentioned that Centaur still waiting. He's getting close. 1,500 gold, needs 2,250 for that Blink Dagger. The Panda already got his Blink Dagger. He got his boots with the help of that kill that he got on the Centaur. So he's going to be close. He needs about 800 till he gets his Arcane Boots. Centaur is actually about the same distance away from his core. Teddy West side, looks like he's building Treads and Mech. He's going to be quite a bit away from that, but he doesn't need that to go and fight. Pretty much as long as he's got his Viper Strike, as long as he's hit level 6, which he did quite a while ago, he's going to be able to go and fight and help his team, and he just purchased the Headdress. So just the recipe away from the Mech. Laxus, he's actually set. He's doing a terrific job so far with his item progression. He's basically going to have an Oblivion Staff completed once the courier delivers that Sobi Mask. And he's already got his Tranquils. He's got 6 quite a while ago. He's level 9 now. So he's got Ball Lightning available to him so he can jump and start picking off heroes. So he doesn't have to wait for anything. And the last hero that we have that's actually, I'd say, waiting for his core to finish before he's able to put a lot of pressure on is Nilo on the Sand King. He's at 1,000 gold. He's already finished his Arcane Boots. So not just going brown boots into to Blink Dagger, choosing to finish the Arcanes, as they're going to jump onto Ariat. They're going to use the clap, followed by the split, and Ariat, oh, he's going to get the stomp off and the double edge, so dealing a decent amount of damage to Boobsies, but Ariat will fall, and will Marco be able to get a revenge kill? He will. Laxus even TP's in, Ball Lightnings, but Boobsies will actually go down to Marco before the Ball Lightning's able to deliver Laxus on time. And we might have a little bit of a battle here for the Invisor in the bottom, but Panda thinking better of it and surrendering it to Laxus. Now we've got basically the support's completely transitioning out of that top lane and leaving the Deuce up against the Jug, which is perfectly fine. The Deuce could or should actually be able to survive with the mana shield against the Jug Omni Slash, so they should feel relatively okay leaving the Deuce up against the Jug. And with the Mystic Snake also being maxed here, the Deuce is going to constantly be taking mana from the Jug, so he's most likely not going to have enough mana to use his Omni Slash once that next Mystic Snake hits. He needs 200 mana to use it, so you can tell he's right around that point where he's not going to have the mana. Yeah, he's at 260 right now, and Mystic Snake burns how much at 4? 65. So yeah, he's right on that point, and we're going to have a TP in here to potentially set up a gank, because it's that Brewmaster. Like I said, he got his Blink Dagger, and he didn't go Arcane Boots. Interesting, he went Point Booster. He's TP'd up here. He wants to put some pressure on, and good awareness from Dota Lover. I'm not sure if that TP was actually in vision or not. Oh, Teddy Westside's getting jumped in the mid lane by Laxus and Val. And oh, they're not going to get the kill here, as they are going to turn it around right onto Val. He's going to try to TP, but with the Brewmaster arriving on the scene with that Blink Dagger and giving her the clap, it means, well, you're just not going to get out of there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
There we go. We've got the Blink now just purchased by the Centaur, so he's going to start joining the fray. And the other item we got as a result of that kill in the mid lane was a mech, finished on the Viper. We got pings going off in the top lane. I think the Jug's going to be fine. And are they going to continue to try and push this tier 1 tower and force more of a response? No, they recognize the haste got picked up in the bottom rune location by the Centaur, and he's got his Blink Daggers coming up. Nilo is going to get picked off here as Laxus jumps in with the Ball of Lightning. Oh! Okay, he will die, as he was sitting in the Darude Sandstorm there for a little bit. The Panda Split will get a stun off onto Laxus, and that'll be followed up by a Death Ward. He'll go down, and now Boopsies is the focus target, but he should be fine in the end. And now we have Val and Shadow going at it, as Val's actually just running, but Shadow says he can't run from the Omni Slash, as he's going to slash her down. And now we've got Panda jumping in, putting the clap onto Marco. And 3 heroes, just like that, go down for Fnyx Gaming. Nemo, they started 0-2, but now that they've gotten their core items, they're coming right back in this game. And it's really on the back of this Panda. He's really having an impact in this. He got his Blink Dagger, and he's immediately going, fighting. 2-0-4 is his record at the moment. And like I said, he went Point Booster, he didn't go Arcane Boots, and he's already picked up an Ogre Club, so he's halfway to his Egg Scepter. Ooh, that's going to be strong. And there we go, Boobsy's finishing the Arcane Boots, so he'll be able to give mana to that Brewmaster. And that could also be the reason why Panda chose not to actually get the Arcanes. Arcanes would have actually given him a lot more power in the laning phase down here against the Centaur. But he says, you know what? My Sand King went Arcane Boots. My Witch Doctor is planning on going Arcane Boots as well. That's 2 Arcane Boots on the team. We don't really need another set of Arcane Boots. Those 2 sets of Arcane Boots are going to be plenty to making sure that Jug has mana and making sure that the Panda has mana. And even Viper. You know, Viper throws out a few Viper Strikes and uses Mech a few times, and he suddenly has mana issues. Teddy Westside getting swapped, and he's gonna get focused here by the Centaur and the Skywrath Mage, but Teddy Westside's going to be okay. They even popped the Stampede to get on out of there, but Val unfortunately won't be able to get far enough away. That is definitely not how Fnyx Gaming imagined that initiation to go. They swapped Teddy Westside, and I think they just expected to blow up the Viper, but Viper's got a decent amount of HP. He's got almost 1300 HP when he's on Strength Treads. On top of that, he's got the Mech, basically making him incredibly tanky. And I'm not sure how many Magic Wand charges he had, but I'm sure he would have popped that as well, as he's down to 0 charges right now.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Viper, very tanky target for 2 supports and 1 core of the Centaur to basically try and get a pick off.
Dire's bottom tower
right after that, we saw the thing pop up on the right side, and that was Nilo acquiring his Blink Dagger. It looks like he wants to try and set something up in the middle lane here. Well, maybe not. he elected to actually pick up his epicenter. Sometimes we see players actually forego the epicenter at 6 or 7, as they want to get more points into their Bro Strike and the Sandstorm. Typically, you see players want to have be able to put that 4th point into Bro Strike at 7, just to give it a little bit extra range. And we're going to have an initiation here as the teams, the player or 2 heroes from the side of Nemo have TP to the mid lane, and they're going to go for Val. Val, unfortunately, out of position. They're going to try to TP out well, but Boobsies with the cask is going to make sure that that doesn't happen on their watch. So 9-6 now in favor of Nemo. And let's actually take a look at the gold graph and see exactly where we stand in this game. As Nemo with that kill just passes the 5k net worth lead, and we'll switch over to the XP earned as well, and they're almost at 5k on that one. So definitely having a little bit of an advantage, and well, they may actually lose a little bit of their advantage as Shadow is getting focused here. He is forced to use the spin and then follow that up by an Omni Slash, and that means Dota Lover and Ariad are both low, and Nilo blinks in, gets the double Burrow Strike stun, and they turn it around. They get the 2 kills onto the Dusa and the Centaur, and then they even get the kill onto Marco the Skywrath, and Shadow doesn't even die as a result. Another situation where Fnyx must have been going in thinking, you know what, we can get the kill on this Jug. We can get the kill on this Viper in the mid lane. And both times they end up with taking casualties and not even getting the kill. And Val looks like he's getting focused down here as well, as he's going to go down. And in the mid lane, Nilo, he must have, he used the epicenter on the solo Storm Spirit, but enough to finish him off. So great job from Nilo there. He is a support, but he recognized the fact that the Storm was probably a little bit low, and he's got epicenter, he's got the high ground. Storm doesn't know where he is. Epicenter, blink, and follow that up with a Burrow Strike. And Storm doesn't really have that much HP. You can't see it now, but you can see he's actually on power treads at the moment too. So he must have been stunned on the power tread, or on the in power treads. So he even has less HP than he would if he was on strength at that moment. But he was probably farming, maybe a little bit low HP, farming with that last little bit of mana. And then Nilo jumped in on that Sand King and picked him off. And we have, well, it looks like we're going to go. That's great. I hate pauses. I absolutely hate pauses. Wait a second. This Brewmaster had, I must be flying in on the courier. Yeah, there it is. So we've got the Egg Scepter basically being delivered right now. That's a 20-minute blink eggs on this Panda. Oh, speaking of Panda, he's going to get initiated on. He's going to get forced to use the split before the eggs even comes in. As, no, he chooses not to get the split off there. Maybe Marco had the stun. It looks like he did. As the Panda is the first to go down. Now the Viper Strike goes out on the Valve. Once again, trying to TP out. Will he be able to? Yes, he will, but unfortunately dies in the fountain. Oh, that was unfortunate. As we do have a 1-for-1 trade. Obviously, that trade is a little bit Fnyx favored, as they picked off a core hero in the Panda and just lost the support. But really, they could have just gotten the kill onto Panda and then backed. But unfortunately, they got caught as they tried to back. And it ended up being a 1-for-1 trade.
Under attack.
New treasures.
Well, how's the Dusa doing so far? We've got almost a Manta finished, just waiting on the recipe for Dota Lover. And the Storm Spirit almost done its Orchid.
Touché.
Speaking of which, the Orchid does get finished, as the recipe was already flying in from the courier. And that means Laxus can really start playing a lot more aggressive. And I think he really needs to put pressure on this Juggernaut. You know, he needs help from one of the supports to do so. But with him being able to jump in and pull, because he did max pull fairly early, and that's actually a quite different build than we've been seeing recently. Recently, a lot of Storm players like to go with Static Remnant, and I talked about him opening onto the Jug. Well, there he is, jumping onto the Jug, but he tried to do it solo, and like I said, he needs someone with him, because Jug says, you know what, I'm just going to turn this around, use the Omni Slash, and he gets the kill instead. And action in the mid lane as the Panda's going to go down, but Marco goes down on the Skywrath Mage at the same time. Nilo jumping in with the Epicenter blink, getting the stun just onto Val, but it's enough to get the kill there. And now Dolover and Ariad are both running for their lives. I think they'll be okay. The Death Ward is down,
Radiant's bottom tower
but they're not going to be able to lock those heroes down as they've used the Viper Strike already. They've also had already used the Burrow Strike and the Cask. So unfortunately not able to lock down any of those two remaining heroes to get full value out of that Death Ward. But they'll take those kills. They got 3 kills that just cost them their Panda. They'll take that. They'll retreat back to Roche's Pit, and we'll try to get a free Aegis here, and I think they will be able to, although... I saw Laxus TPing to the tier 2. I thought maybe they were going to try to rush to Roche and contest, but Laxus is just going to farm. And this looks like it's going to be a free Roche. And I imagine they're going to put the Aegis onto Shadow here. Let's actually quickly go through all our heroes on the Radiant side here, seeing where they are. The Manta has been finished. Val looks like he's going for a medallion and choosing to leave Magic Missile at 1 and choosing not to put the points in that. Sometimes you'll see a lot of different builds on that, and Laxus taking the opportunity to go into Nilo here off to the side, who drops down to 30 HP. But it's, oh yeah, actually he will go down as the Static Remnant will explode. Laxus and Boobsy's now attacking. We also have Marco going down to the Panda Brewmaster. Laxus is going to get on out of there. Let's take a look back up here. Dodolover lands from the spin, or sorry, the cyclone that he was put into from the Panda. Speaking of that, he gets thrown back up in the air one more time, and he's on his own here in the middle of 4 enemy heroes, and he's going to go down. Another disaster team fight for Fnyx. And it started off good. Laxus jumping in, trying to get the initiation onto Nilo, and he did end up getting the kill onto Nilo, and he did get out of there safely. But unfortunately, his play there and his team basically coming from the side trying to help him out ended up that well, Storm jumped away, but everyone else was just able to engage on all the Radiant heroes here. So his team got committed by his play. Maybe that was just a little bit of miscommunication, but unfortunately not working out for Fnyx Gaming in that exchange one more time. As a result, these dire side heroes just get stronger and stronger. Teddy Westside now just finishing his Egg Scepter on the Viper. We've also, well, we had the eggs finished quite a while ago. We've also got Boobsies on the Witch Doctor, halfway to his. Even closer than halfway, as he's 1,400 gold away from finishing his. And that just means that Death Ward is going to be bouncing around, hitting all sorts of targets. And that's just going to be another threat. They've got so many threats to deal with. It's going to be a tough battle for Fnyx, and it looks like they're going to lose their tier 2 in the top lanes. I don't think they're going to be want to defend that. As Laxus is going to try to put some pressure on the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, but I don't think he'll be able to get that solo, because either the dire side could TP and defend it, or Laxus is going to be forced back, as you see him getting forced back right now by them just threatening, pressing the high ground, pressing that tier 3, and they actually are right-clicking away. Laxus is going to ball lightning and deal a little bit of damage. That forced Ariat to pop his Stampede, and it looks like they're not on the same page there, as it looks like they were going to initiate, and then they didn't. And now they've unfortunately just used Stampede for essentially nothing, and they're going to lose their tier 3. Well, now, will they try to make a play to defend their racks here? I think they got to do something, as the Panda and the Jugger is swinging away. They will throw out the Arcane, or Mystic, whatever the heck it's called. The Shadow, whatever. We got an Epicenter going out. Ariat's going to go down, and Val's going to go down as well. Ariat's going to buy back, and the Deuce ult's going to go off. That's going to force Shadow to back up, and unfortunately, the Deuce is not able to complete the kill there as the Panda jumps on, and Nilo now jumps on, throwing out the Burrow Strike, and the Deuce is going to go down. Ariat arrives on the scene, but he's in the air thanks to the Panda minions, or Panda Brewmaster split. Marco now trying to chip away, do as much as he can, but he is a weak, squishy Skywrath mage at this point in the game against some pretty damn fed heroes on this dire side. And well, look at that's some good restraint. They said, you know what, we got exactly what we came for. We wanted to chip away at the tier 3, take a fight if it was advantageous to us, and it was. You know, they took the fight, they got some pickoffs, but they showed restraint. They got what they came for, which was that top set of racks. And as soon as they got that, they said, let's not stick around. Could we maybe get another killer? Maybe, but there's a high chance that we're going to end up sticking around too long and then losing some heroes. So immediately they said, it's not worth it. That one hero is not worth it at the chance of us getting picked off. So we'll back away and we'll get we'll get fresh mana and HP, and we'll work towards acquiring another target on the map. Most likely going to be this bottom tier 2 tower. I didn't, okay, the Aegis was using that fight. I actually didn't see it get proc there. I was too busy stumbling over what the Skywrath ult is called. It's Mystic Flare. Okay. Okay. I was doing so good for a while of remembering this item. Or, it's a spell. It's a spell, Niz. Come on, get your shit together. Remembering this spell name. But it failed me there. It failed me. Let's actually take a look at the scoreboard. I haven't looked at the scoreboard all game, I think. So we've got Teddy Westside 9-1-5 on that Viper. But you know what? I don't think that's the story of the game. His participation, he's been part of 14 out of 24 kills on his team. That's great. That's absolutely great. But the story of the game for this Dire side has got to be this Brewmaster. 3-2-12. He's got 15 participation. He's definitely been a part of the most kills on his team. But he really, as soon as he got that Blink Digger, he really made an impact on the game. And he really helped his, set the tempo, set the pace of this game for his team. And that really created some of the space for Jug, and Jug's just been farming away. Jug's only been a part of 8 kills. And he's just been farming. You can see the Jug's items. He's pretty beefy at this point in the game. And the other one, of course, on the Dire side, has done some pretty good things for them, has been Nilo on the sinking. As soon as he got his Blink Dagger, it was a little late getting there, but as soon as he got his Blink Dagger, he was really putting some pressure on this Radiant side. We're going to have the Ball Lightning initiation from Laxus, but Nilo's going to come in from the side. Or no, he's not. He's going to get interrupted. So he's not going to be able to jump in. As Laxus and Val have already fallen. Now Dota Lover is in trouble. He's already popped the Dusa ult. And oh, Ariat, as he lands from the Panda Spin, Nilo's going to try to get the Bro Strike, but Ariat's able to get the Blink off in time. Unfortunately, he is stuck in trees right now, so as his Blink comes back up, he'll blink on out of there. Actually, he may actually wait. He's already full HP and mana. He might wait till they get closer and use the Blink to jump on them. Nope, he's just going to jump to the fountain as Laxus jumping in one more time. And they're just going to stun him immediately, and I think Laxus, no, he will get back to the fountain. Nilo trying to, maybe, this is maybe a little bit of the overextending. Yes, they've got their second set of racks, but that's the thing that you have to worry about. Nilo chasing all the way to the fountain. It's easy to get picked off doing so, and we can see games get turned around. I saw a game the other day, I believe it was in the Canada Cup, where one team just completely dove to the fountain, and they had a clear-cut victory. And because they dove to the fountain, they got picked off, and it quickly turned around. They didn't even end up getting the set of racks because they thought they were so far ahead. They ended up winning the game, but Nemo ends up winning this game anyways, despite that maybe a little bit aggressive play going right to the fountain, but Nilo realized in time and backed up. But Nemo, aka Vacation, in the brackets, they will win. And they'll advance to the quarterfinals, which is going to be our next game, as we're going to follow Nemo into that round. But that's it for Fnyx Gaming, as they get eliminated as this entire tournament's best of one. But Fnyx, I thought they played well. I liked their lineup. I thought their lineup had a lot of potential. I like that they went aggressive with the tri-lane and punished the fact that there was that Sand King. I think they could have really taken control of that lane a little bit better. I thought Jug got a little bit too much CS compared to the Dusa. Like, Dusa should have really been leading the way in that lane, but Jug was getting a little bit too much. The Centaur fell a little bit behind on the Brewmaster in the lane, but honestly, that's not the biggest thing in the world. The biggest thing was that the Brewmaster just had a bigger impact on the game with the Centaur than the Centaur did. And he was just able to work with his team a little bit better. The thing that really hurt Fnyx was they had a couple gank attempts where they had devoted 3 heroes to go and try and gank someone, and then they didn't get the kill and they lost a hero. Partly in thanks to some great TPs from Nemo, but those couple ganks just didn't work out for them, and they were meant to help them catch up and maybe give them a little bit of advantage, but instead it just put them a little bit further behind. So that was really devastating for Fnyx. But that's it for them, and that's it for this game, as we're gonna try and hop into the next lobby, as it's getting hosted right now. But hopefully you enjoyed that game. We've got many more to come. Once again, I'm Niz. You can follow me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. NizCast and all of them. They're pretty simple. You can find the VODs. You can find out what's going on with the tournament, all that stuff. But I don't want to miss the next game, so I'm going to hop into that one, and I'll see you soon.